Okay, guys, so here's the plan. We are doing lesson 24 today, which is assess. That's one of our vocabulary words. The reasonableness of solutions. So we are going to be judging and evaluating solutions today. Tomorrow, I think we're going to do lesson 25, or we might do some of the practice problems. And then we're going to do some days where we're doing some centers. Friday is our Unit 6 test. Okay? So, we will finish on Friday. Okay? I know there is no cool down for lesson 25. Okay, lesson 25 is an extra, just lesson. So there's no cool down. Okay? So you don't need to tell me again, I know. Okay? Sound good? All right. So, lesson 24. Let's solve some problems and assess the reasonableness of solutions. Now you may open up to your warm-up, which is what page?
109.
All right, so we're on page 109. And you are noticing and wondering. So jot down a couple notes. What do you notice? What do you wonder? And then we will share. Okay, we're going to chat about this. So it looks like we are looking at some Native American tribes. And I'm going to stop talking because I'm going to give away what I noticed and wondered. So I want to know what you noticed and wondered. Emma, start us off.
I wondered what it says.
What it says? Yeah. Well, it says underneath translation, do you speak Navajo? But I wonder if you're wondering what I'm wondering. I'm wondering, how do you pronounce that? I don't even know where to begin. Vivian.
I noticed that, this is more of a, I wonder, but I noticed that they're comparing Native American language.
Okay, maybe it's the languages we're comparing. Kara?
I wondered, why are they even writing this down? Is there something
There's no title, is there? Like, because I was thinking at first, oh, it's the number of people in a tribe. But then I was looking at the question, and I'm not so sure. Brooks, what do you notice or wonder?
I wonder if like that many people speak that language.
That's what I was thinking, the number of people who speak a language. So which language, if that's what it is, which language do they speak the most? Okay. No, I think Navajo is how you say it.
I think it's Nick.
And which one would be the least? Coral.
Oh, Pima, and also can I share my notice?
Yeah.
I noticed that they're all in order, as like kind of what you guys were saying. Navajo is like the biggest. I see that like it's the biggest number in like in a certain and it's like more than all of them.
I was surprised because I thought more would speak Cherokee, but yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering if we're going to learn more about it today. Okay, put your hands down. Let's take a look. Oh, here we go. This is part of our warm-up. The infographics shows the top 10 most widely spoken Native American language in the United States, collected in 2009 to 2013. The numbers represent people over 5 who speak the language. That's interesting. About 170 Native American languages are spoken in the United States, but many are on the verge of disappearing. Based on what you see here, could you predict how many people speak the 20th most widely spoken language? the language in the 100th place? I don't know. I don't know enough about Native Americans. Would you say the 20th most spoken language would be less than the Pima?
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could predict that it would be way less, right? Are there any patterns that you see? Brooke?
This isn't a pattern, but
Yeah.
it said like that some of them were on the verge of disappearing.
Yeah.
So maybe the one in the hundreds place is like slowly disappearing.
It's like 0 or something, or like 1. Coral?
I see a pattern.
Yeah, what do you see?
Pima, I saw like 6, 9, 9, and then like all the way up the first digit is like, and then like on the 11 it goes 11, 13, 13.
Yeah, I don't really see a clear pattern, but it's definitely dwindling down, isn't it? Okay, let's see what we're going to do with this information. Oh, here's another page of our warm-up. Notice and wonder. Here is a census map showing the distribution of Native American languages from a survey done by the U.S. Census in 2006 to 2010. First of all, do you guys know what the census is?
No.
So every, I want to say 4 years, the United States Census, so it's like a group of officials, are sent out to survey people about certain topics. Like what language do you speak? I don't know, how many kids do you have? It's like stuff like that. And so one of the questions must be, what language do you speak? And they do this so they can see, well, what languages are being spoken in the United States. So that's something that might be helpful if, like, we're looking to write textbooks for children, right? We want to know what languages everybody's speaking. Or if we're writing laws or, anything we're publishing, right? Okay. What do you guys notice about the distribution of languages? I feel like I'm teaching social studies right now. What do you notice? Kira? Most of it is green, and green is less than 500. Less than 500. So less than 500 people in the green areas speak a Native American language. And because we've just talked about social studies, we talked about this, we're talking about the Indians, right? Now they like to be known as indigenous people. But you can see even here, our math book, which was just written, is referring to them as Native American, right? Which is already outdated. They should have it as indigenous people. And I have to say it because I'm your social studies teacher. Correct.
I noticed that most people, lots of people speak Native American languages in Arizona and New Mexico.
Yeah, did you guys see this? Arizona and New Mexico. Oh, I turned off my pen. Right here, lots. Look at that dark, dark blue. That means 10,000 and over. Do you think, I wonder if you could infer over here in Nevada, Arizona, that maybe in those schools, do you think some of their textbooks or some of their resources are written in Native American languages? Yeah. I would infer that. Do we have many in Colorado?
No.
No, we have this little pocket right by the four corners, don't we? Isn't that interesting? Do you remember when we were studying, oh my gosh, which tribes?
the Indians
No.
tribe?
The Native American tribes. And remember how we said they went south
Yeah.
to the Four Corners
The
area?
basket maker.
The basket makers and the Utes.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, when we talked about the Utes and the basket weavers, the Navajo. Yeah, they all went south and stayed there. Look at that. Okay, anyway, there's our census map. Let's see what we're going to do about it. Launch. What languages, oh, this is interesting. Raise your hand. What languages are spoken in your family or your neighborhood? Kate.
English and a lot of my family speaks
Spanish too, very cool. Michael.
I have some of my family speaks Spanish, and some of my family speaks English, and some of our neighbors also speak Spanish. So when they're trying to talk to us, we know what they're saying.
Oh, that's really nice. Quinn.
So half my family speaks Portuguese.
Yeah.
And the other half speaks English.
English. Hey, Caleb.
Cambria and Dad speaks Spanish.
Oh, very cool. Now, is that because Cambry's taking Spanish or just always has known it?
It's just in our family.
It's just in your family? Yeah, she's just known it. Charlie?
My whole family speaks Spanish.
Speaks Spanish? Very cool. Aaron?
We speak mostly English, but sometimes we'll if everyone will say, "More than
Spanish? Yeah, a little bit of Spanish. How, Briella?
I think our whole neighborhood and our family speaks
So, when you go home, you're speaking Spanish?
Spanish.
No, not really, but you hear a lot of it? Yeah. Maya?
That's
really cool.
Well, my whole family speaks English, but my dad sometimes he quizzes my brother on his Spanish, and
Yeah. Oh, let's hear from one or two more. All right, Riker.
my neighbor speaks Spanish, and my family speaks English and some
And some French. Very cool.
Well, my family speaks Spanish, and my family speaks English. My grandpa speaks Spanish, and then a couple of my neighbors speak Portuguese.
I was going to say, there's a lot of Portuguese and Russian in this neighborhood. And I just know that from teaching here.
We live really close to Woodrow Wilson. Right. Well, where Caitlin's sister goes.
And usually I have a couple
We're
of
not
kids
even a block away from there.
from there. Okay, hands down, I get to share. My neighborhood is English and we have some Spanish, kind of same as you guys. My family, well, they all speak English, but my mom, her grandparents all spoke Spanish, and to the point that they didn't even know English. But my mom never learned it, so she just always spoke English. Anyway, we have lots of Spanish in here, it sounds like, and some Portuguese. So, do you or your friends use different languages in different places or occasions? Yeah, Brett.
So if I would go skiing, we would go to ski booths.
Yeah.
And they go to school in the mountains, and lots of schools in the mountains, they're like bilingual. So they also speak Spanish. And they told me that mainly at school they just speak Spanish.
That's interesting. That would be difficult. Guys, you should not be talking over there. Coral.
When I go into my family's house, my grandma's house and my grandpa's, her family comes over to eat. I usually, me and my grandpa, usually like during the, I usually speak Spanish because we like to share like our different voices and stuff like that.
What about sign language? You guys know any sign language? A little bit? Yeah? Do you know how to do, now I know my ABCs, next time won't you sing with?
No.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, that's because I have a toddler. No. All right. Anyway, for this activity, you will need to refer to the data that you saw in the warm-up, and it looks like it's in your book. Oh, I'm clicking on there. I forgot what I was using. Okay, here's what you're doing. In the list of the 10 most widely spoken Native American languages in the United States, Navajo and Yupik are the most widely spoken. How many more Navajo speakers are there than Yupik speakers? Show your reasoning. Why are we up out of our seats? Yeah, no, not in the middle of directions. We're just listening right now. About how many times as many Navajo speakers are there as there are Yupik speakers? Show your reasoning. No. Oh, goodness. And 2 more questions about that. Then we're going to synthesize. And 0. Okay. So we all got part A. But we need to talk about part B. So, some of you have since figured it out, but I want you to help me out here. Part B says about how many. Whenever you see that word about, that should be your signal that you're going to round or estimate. So they're not looking for an exact answer. I can't tell you how many of you guys, you figured out correctly you needed to divide, but you had your long division set up and you were ready to divide this huge number by this other huge number, okay? They're not looking for you to do that. You're in 4th grade. This is hard. This is very difficult. What they are looking for you to do is for you to say, hey, about how much is 19,750? What number is that close to, everybody?
20,000.
Okay, 20,000. And about what number is 166,826? What would that be close to? That would be reasonable to divide 20,000 into. Coral. Okay. Kate.
Maybe 200,000?
200,000 might be a little too big. We could get a little more precise. Vivian? So, 170,000, although my brain says that 20,000 isn't going to go into that evenly. Could you do?
160.
160,000. That's a comma. 160. What is happening here? 160,000 would be very reasonable because I know if I'm counting by an even number like 2, that it's going to go in evenly. So if we're saying how many 20,000s are in 160,000? Okay, here we go. Are you guys ready to count by 20,000s?
Yeah.
Ready? 20,000, 40,000, 60,000, 80,000, 100,000, 120,000, 140,000, 160,000. How many is that? 8. So, because it says about how many times, we can make a reasonable guess that it would go in there about 8 times. Kira. Yeah. And you got what? 8. Yeah. Yeah. So you could think about it that way, couldn't you? Just ignore those zeros. Absolutely. Okay, Brooks.
What we did is we knew that 19,000 times 10 equaled 190,000. So then we just went to 7 and multiplied 19,750 times 7. And then we saw how many, and we thought how many times could we add 19,000 until we got over 160,000.
Well, that works too when you got 8. Okay, last one, Carl.
I just did 8 times 2 plus 16, and then I added like some zeros on it. And I knew that it would be 8 thirds because 8 times 2 is 6. And if you do the math right, you would get 8 times.
Yes. Okay. So, part 2 seemed pretty simple, right? You just had to add those 3 numbers, right? Okay. Part B was a little bit of a challenge. Are there more Navajo speakers than the speakers of all the other 9 languages combined? Did anybody get to number 3?
I'm working.
Okay, Gage, what'd you get?
I got no.
You got what?
I got no.
Why?
I did it kind of like a faster way.
Okay.
So like there, could I go and show you?
Yeah, come on up.
So what I did was I added 1. I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I added 5 plus 9, 14, and then 23.
Oh, so you broke these apart?
And then
I see.
And then I just added the zeros, and it was more than 380,000.
So you knew once you got to a certain number, as soon as it was bigger than this, you knew you could answer? Okay. All right. So there were more, right? So that would be no, because there would be more of all those other languages. Aaron?
I think yes. I think there are more Navajo, because when you add all the numbers, when you add all the other 9 languages up, you get 1,000. You get 100,000. You get 101,805, which is less than the amount of Navajo, which is 600, which is 166,826. So I said yes, there are more.
So, part of this lesson today is talking about reasonable answers. So, this is a pretty large problem, and like I said, number 3 was a challenge. Another way you could have done it is you could have estimated. So, we've got Aaron's answer and we've got Gage's. So, what I would do is I'd say, okay, this number is close to 20,000, so is this one. So those together would be 40,000, and I would probably just jot that down. These down here are pretty close to 10,000. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would be like another 40,000. So if I added that up, I would get 80,000. These two together are 26,000-ish. 36,000. So maybe I would add 36,000. But I think it would equal about 120,000. So based on my estimate, I would probably say Aaron's answer sounds more reasonable. But Gage, I would like to look and see what happened when you lined up your numbers. I don't know. What are you thinking, Kate?
Yeah, I got 106,000.
Yeah, it seems to me, and I estimated up. I rounded up. So my answer would be, if I thought it was about 116,000, that would probably be too high. Yeah, because I rounded those all up. Jace.
I got 112,680.
Okay, that sounds very reasonable. Last one.
I haven't done it yet, but you could add the front numbers, like the thousands, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
you could see if you were over 167.
Because that's kind of the whole object, is if we're going to get more than 166,000, right? So that might give you a good idea. Okay, so guys, that was activity 1. Oh, we just discussed all of that, didn't we? Oh, goodness. What do you guys think if we start with activity 2 tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, this lesson is to be continued. All right, what do you notice? What do you wonder? So take a look up here. Remember, we were talking about indigenous tribes, indigenous people, Native Americans, and the languages they speak. What do you notice or wonder up here? What do we see now? Keston.
Why are there 2 different countries, like Philadelphia and Chicago?
So, cities, those are cities. Philadelphia and Chicago. Jace?
I noticed that Philadelphia has less than Chicago in everything.
Philadelphia has less in these, so these numbers right here are less than these numbers down here.
Yeah.
Okay, I see that. What else? Hadley?
I wonder if, like, Philadelphia has less people than Chicago. If
That's-
the numbers are less.
That's a really good inference. Maybe they have less. Okay, Aaron?
I noticed that there are more Asian. There are more people that speak Asian and other European in Chicago than Philadelphia.
Okay, yeah. Very interesting. One more. Okay, Brooks.
I noticed that most people speak English.
Most people, can we make that generalization
Yeah.
and say most people in both of these cities speak English? Okay, let's, uh-oh.
No.
If you are following along with our wonderful video, stay tuned for part 2. This is the end of part 1.